Dr. Professor Iyer, economist and instrumental in 34 international collaborations, traveled 66 countries, will speak on retired, not retired, how seniors can continue to contribute and serve the useful purpose for the society and country. Hope the sessions would be very interesting for the today's evening. I request Professor Iyer, please vote you, sir. Thank you so much. You are unmute, sir. Unmute yourself, sir.
Thank you very, very much, Kiranji. I'm going to start by making two very humble requests. Number one is, please put this device on silent mode. This is request number one, because this device is a champion of distraction from anything. And my second request to everybody is, feel free to interrupt me as many times as you like. Feel free to disagree with me. Feel free to criticize me. I guarantee I'm unoffendable. No problem at all. I'm talking to a very, very educated and mature audience who are all capable of independent opinions. And I respect your independence and your opinion alike. ठीक है जी? And I've got a habit of speaking in English, which I hope is okay with everybody, because some of my friends in South India may not be familiar with some Hindi words. So I'll try to be as expressive as possible. I'm from Palakkad in Kerala, but brought up in Delhi. So although I'm a Mallu here, I'm a Sardarji here in my heart. And I'm very happy. I'm very happy to say that, because I like the pragmatism of the Sardarjis, and I like the quest for knowledge among South Indians. So I'm a beneficiary of both. That is right. Kiran sir, you have put me on speaker view. Can you put everybody on gallery view so that I can see everybody?
You are on speaker view. You are on speaker view. We are all able to see you.
No. I want to see everybody. Put it on gallery view.
Yeah, of course.
Because then I will be aware as to who all are yawning and who are all already asleep.
Yeah, let me.
I would like to believe that I am not a cure for insomnia.
Now, if you are in a gallery view.
मेरे को तो कोई नहीं दिख रहा गैलरी व्यू में, मेरी शक्ल दिख रही है, अब मैं क्या करूं?
Rajesh, as a host, Rajesh, please put on the.
Your spotlight has been removed. Go in view and click on gallery view.
Yeah, right. Yes, sir.
I'm going to inform all of you that today's talk. किरण जी, कहीं ना कहीं हवाई जहाज चल रहा है. Somebody is listening to me from the runway of an airport.
Dear friend, please unmute yourself. Okay. And sir, if you want to see a gallery, you have to click yourself in a laptop, so you'll be able to watch gallery views.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to see people while talking rather than talk to a device. A device is very inanimate. It's better to see people, because then from their facial expression, one will know whether you're hearing or listening or neither. So, sir, ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to discuss a subject which is very close to my heart. And that subject is, just because we are retired, are we getting retarded? Till this time we are not retired, our professional activities keep us running, or our own household activities keep us running continuously. Many of us have retired as housewives. The responsibility of a housewife is undescribable. Anything that the man does not do, the housewife does. That is the only job responsibility. The man may think he is the most important person because he goes and earns for the family. The lady also goes and earns for the family, but she does a lot more. She runs the house. Even if she is Angela Merkel, who has been re-elected 3 times over in Germany, she still has to go home and perform the duties of a wife. The men folk, we come back home and we think our day's responsibility is over. The rest of the evening is entirely for my pleasure. No duties. So how about giving retirement to the ladies? Even today, there are 3 responsibilities which the ladies and only the ladies worry about at home. What are the 3 responsibilities? Number 1, maid. Maid आएगी कि नहीं? Question number 1. अगर आ गई तो उसका मूड अच्छा होगा कि नहीं? Question number 2. What if she says, I want to go back early today? Question number 3. What if she says, I am pregnant, I need more money? Question number 4. What if she says, there is a calamity at home, I need shelter? Question number 5. These things happen with all of us. Does the man have to worry about any of these? No. It is always the lady of the house. Number 2, food. First is maid, second is food. The lady of the house has to design the menu and make supply chain provisions. 3 days in advance. Are all the condiments there? Are all the vegetables and where applicable meats, are they there? Are all the cooking essentials, the pressure cooker, the device, the gas availability, are they all there? These are all worries which men never think about. And sometimes the ladies are beset with responsibilities of cooking 3 different menus for 3 different people in the house. One is so sweet that he is a diabetic. One cannot stand spicy food. The third one says, no, I want it to be very spicy. The fourth one is an elderly relative who has got restrictions. I won't have this, I won't have that. Who worries about all this? It's always the ladies. And the third area where the ladies are beset with responsibility is guests. Particularly when guests come to stay over with you. Who worries about the pillowcase? Who worries about the bed sheet? Who worries about the fresh cake of soap in the bathroom? Men folk, we never think about these things. It is always the lady. And she has to do multiple planning of menus every day. She cannot repeat what she made yesterday, today. And this is in spite of her being an equal professional. She also goes to work. She also comes back. And even after the lady retires, she still is beset with the responsibility of running the home. In Dignity Foundation, one common thing is, somebody speaking, I think somebody is eager to say something. I can answer your question if you have any. I can at least attempt to answer it. I may not have all the answers. किरण जी, कोई मेरे से कुछ कहना चाहते हैं? शायद कुछ आवाजें आ रही थी.
If not, please continue.
Thank you, ji. So the big questions are, how do we keep everybody active, productive, and supporting the society and the country all the time? If we are retired, it is not an eligibility to be retarded. We retire at a particular age, either because it's a government rule, which fluctuated between 55 and 58 and 60, and now going on to 62, we don't know. Many of us who are self-employed, we choose to retire when we want. Sometimes you partially retire, sometimes you retire fully. But my observation of People in Dignity Foundation are three. Number one, everybody here, ये किसी के यहाँ कोई ना कोई पंछी बोल रहा है. मेरे घर में नहीं है कोई पंछी वंछी.
Dear friend, please be muted your mic. It's very interesting talk. I humble request everyone, please be muted during the talk. Thank you so much.
It is very necessary for all of us to use our most important. ये कहीं फिर से बोल रहा है पंछी. I think this is mating season for them. कुछ न कुछ चल रहा है वहां पे. हाँ जी, कोई बात नहीं. See, I don't like any other noise. I treat that as competition. The only one who is eligible to make noise today is me. I think Madam Lakshmi Venkatraman wants to say something to me. The name appeared just now. Lakshmi Madam, please come in. Say what you like. All right. What are the three observations that I make about the People in Dignity Foundation? The first observation is everybody is educated. And I know the difference between being educated and being qualified. I know thousands of people who are qualified, but they are uneducated. I know a lot of people who are very, very educated and they have no qualification at all. Rabindranath Tagore went to school for 15 months in his lifetime. Thomas Alva Edison went to school for 3 years in his lifetime. Both of them are Nobel laureates. I know that people in dignity are educated people. They want to be productive. They want to keep contributing. That is why I chose this topic today. Just because we are retired, it doesn't mean we are retarded. हमारी बुद्धि की क्षमता 1% भी कम नहीं हुई. The capability of our educated brain has not been diluted even by 1%. What is the second thing that I noticed about Dignity Foundation people? Their empathy for each other. They understand each other, what stage of life they are going through. They're not here only for socializing, entertainment, and in the pre-COVID days, Chai Masti and all that. It is not Chai Masti, it is Chai Dosti. It is a friendship that we develop, the bonding that we develop. All Asians are emotional people. Indians are extremely emotional. If I say good evening to Rukmini madam today with a smile, and if I say the same good evening to the same Rukmini madam without a smile tomorrow, she will start wondering, what happened to this creature? He smiled at me yesterday, today he's not smiling. That is our level of sensitivity. In the Western world, they are not emotional. They don't have any sense of being emotional, of developing empathy with people, because their culture is completely different. All Asians from Turkey to Tokyo, we are a very emotional lot because we believe in treating friends like family and treating family like friends. I worked in the West. There your office colleague is only an office colleague. If you see him and his wife in the supermarket in the evening, you don't even wish each other. Whereas in our culture, if you meet your colleague in the supermarket in the evening, the first thing there will be a fight as to who is going to pay for the coffee. They'll say, "Main dunga." The other fellow will say, "Main dunga. This is my coffee." This is how we bond. So the second good thing about dignitarians from all over, all the 7 cities in this country is they empathize very well with each other. And what is the third thing about dignitarians? It is the fact that everybody is eager to learn. People are open to coming into every meeting, either through the electronic medium or through physical presence, with a very open mind that there is an opportunity to learn something. Because all of us are going through second childhood. There was a time in our life when we were holding big positions and we thought, whatever there is to know for me, I know. In Gujarati, MBA means manne baddo avde che. I know everything. Then we became humbler. By the time we became grown up into elders, the word senior is actually means see near. You start seeing everything from very near. That is senior. And that is the time, by seeing very near, that you open your mind to keep on learning. This is second childhood in a very positive sense. So just because somebody is retired, it doesn't mean he is retarded. And we have a very important purpose to serve in our life, for the simple reason that the purpose of life is to lead a life with noble purposes. To secure our family, paise kama liye rakh diya, investment kar di. Many of us are lucky to get pensions. Many of us get pensions, and we have also made investment where from we are getting returns. So money is not a worry. Or we have probably learned to live within whatever is available. जो प्राप्त है वो पर्याप्त है. That is an attitude. Now, what are we going to do with our lives? Are we all waiting to go to the grave? No. Grave is a reality the moment you are born. If there is any truth about life, the moment you are born, you know that you are going to die. Kab, kaise, kahan, nobody knows. But in the interim, how can we continuously keep being useful, being productive, trying to constantly keep contributing? So today's talk is interspread with 3 videos. And our friend, our very dear Kiran Mahakale Saab, I request you to play Bunker Roy. Let us start with Bunker Roy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
I'd like to take you to another world, and I'd like to share a 45-year-old love story with the poor living on less than $1 a day. I went to a very elitist, snobbish, expensive education in India, and that almost destroyed me. I was all set to be a diplomat, teacher, doctor, all laid out. I don't look it, but I was the Indian national squash champion for 3 years. The whole world was laid out for me. Everything was on my feet. Could do nothing wrong. And then I thought, out of curiosity, I'd like to go and live and work, just see what a village is like. So in 1965, I went to what is called the worst Bihar famine in India, and I saw starvation, death, people dying of hunger for the first time. Changed my life. Came back home, told my mother, I like to live and work in a village. Mother went into a coma. What is this? The whole world is laid out for you, the best jobs are laying out for you, and you want to go and work in a village? I mean, is there something wrong with you? I said, no, I've got the best education, it made me think, and I wanted to give something back in my own way. What do you want to do in a village? No job, no money, no security, no prospect. I said, I want to live and dig wells for 5 years. Dig wells for 5 years? You went to the most expensive school and college in India and you want to dig wells for 5 years? She didn't speak to me for a very long time because she thought I'd let my family down. But then I was exposed to the most extraordinary knowledge and skills that very poor people have, which is never brought into mainstream, which is never identified, respected, applied on a large scale. And I thought I'd start a barefoot college only for the poor. What the poor thought was important would be reflected in the college. Went to this village for the first time. Elders came to me and said, are you running from the police? I said, no. You failed in your exam? I said, no. You didn't get a government job? I said, no. What are you doing here? Why are you here? The education system in India makes you look at Paris and Delhi and Zurich. What are you doing in this village? Is there something wrong with you you're not telling us? I said, no. I want to actually start a college only for the poor. What the poor thought was important would be reflected in the college. So then they gave me some very sound and profound advice. They said, please, don't bring anyone with a degree and qualification into your college. So it's the only college in India where if you should have a PhD or a master's, you're disqualified to come. You have to be a cop-out or a washout or a dropout to come to our college. You have to work with your hands. You have to have a dignity of labor. You have to show that you have a skill that you can offer to the community and provide a service to the community. So we started the Barefoot College, and we redefined professionalism. Who is a professional? A professional is someone who has a combination of competence, confidence, and belief. A water diviner is a professional. A traditional midwife is a professional. A traditional bone setter is a professional. These are professionals all over the world. You'll find them in any inaccessible village around the world. And we thought that these people should come into mainstream and show that the knowledge and skills that they have is universal. It needs to be used, it needs to be applied, it needs to be shown to the world outside that these knowledge and skills are relevant even today. So the college works following the lifestyle and work style of Mahatma Gandhi. You eat on the floor, you sleep on the floor, you work on the floor. There are no contracts, no written contracts. You can stay with me for 20 years, go tomorrow. And no one can get more than $100 a month. You come for the money, you don't come to Barefoot College. You come for the work and the challenge, you come to the Barefoot College. That is where we want you to try crazy ideas. Whatever idea you have, come and try. Doesn't matter if you fail. Battered, bruised, you start again. It's the only college where the teacher is the learner and the learner is the teacher. And it's the only college we don't give a certificate. You are certified by the community you serve. You don't need a paper to hang on the wall to show that you are an engineer. So when they said that, they said, well, show us what is possible. What are you doing? This is all mumbo jumbo if you can't show it on the ground. So we built the first Barefoot College in 1986. It was built by 12 barefoot architects who can't read and write. Built on $1.50 a square foot. 150 people lived there, worked there. They got the Aga Khan Award for Architecture in 2002. But then they suspected, they thought there was an architect behind it. I said, yes, they made the blueprints, but the barefoot architects actually constructed the college. We are the only ones who actually returned the award for $50,000 because they didn't believe us and we thought that they were actually casting aspersions on the barefoot architects of Telonia. I asked a forester, high-powered, paper-qualified expert. I said, what can you build in this place? He had one look at the soil and said, forget it, no way, nothing can work. No water, rocky soil. I was in a bit of a spot, and I said, okay, I'll go to the old man in the village and say, what should I grow in this pot? He looked quietly at me and said, you build this, you put this, and it'll work. This is what it looks like today. Went to the roof, and all the women said, clear out. The men should clear out because we don't want to share this technology with the men. This is waterproofing the roof. It is a bit of jaggery, bit of urine, and a bit of other things I don't know, but it actually doesn't leak. Since 1986, it hasn't leaked. This technology, the women will not share with the men. It's the only college which is fully solar electrified. All the power comes from the sun. 45 kilowatts of panels on the roof, and everything works out of the sun for the next 25 years. So long as the sun shines, I have no problem with power. But the beauty is that it was installed by a priest, a Hindu priest who's only done 8 years of primary schooling. Never been to school, never been to college. He knows more about solar than anyone I know anywhere in the world. Guaranteed. Food, if you come to the Barefoot College, is solar cooked. But the people who fabricated that solar cooker are women. Illiterate women who actually fabricate the most sophisticated solar cooker. It's a parabolic Scheffler solar cooker. Unfortunately, they're almost half German. They're so precise. You'll never find Indian women so precise. Absolutely to the last inch, they can make that cooker. And we have 60 meals twice a day of solar cooking. We have a dentist. She's a grandmother, illiterate, who's a dentist. She actually looks after the teeth of 7,000 children. Barefoot technology. This was 1986, no engineer, no architect thought of it, but we are collecting rainwater from the roofs. Very little water is wasted. All the roofs are connected underground to a 400,000 liter tank, and no water is wasted. If we have 4 years of drought, we still have water in the campus because we collect rainwater. 60% of children don't go to school because they have to look after animals, sheep, goats, domestic chores. So we thought of starting a school at night for the children. We call the night schools of Telonia. Over 75,000 children have gone through these night schools because it's for the convenience of the child. It's not for the convenience of the teacher. And what do we teach in these schools? Democracy, citizenship, how you should measure your land, what you should do if you're arrested, what you should do if your animal is sick. This is what we teach in the night schools. But all the schools are solar lit. Every 5 years, we have an election between 6 to 14-year-old children. participate in a democratic process, and they elect a prime minister. The prime minister is 12 years old. She looks after 20 goats in the morning, but she's prime minister in the evening. She has a cabinet, Minister for Education, Minister for Energy, Minister for Health, and they actually monitor and supervise 150 schools for 7,000 children. She got the World's Children's Prize 5 years ago, and she went to Sweden. First time ever going out of a village, never seen Sweden, wasn't dazzled at all by what was happening. And the Queen of Sweden, who's there, turned to me and said, "Can you ask this child where she got her confidence from? She's only 12 years old, and she's not dazzled by anything." And the girl who's on her left turned to me and looked at the Queen straight in the eye and said, "Please tell her I'm the Prime Minister." Where the percentage of illiteracy is very high, we use puppetry. Puppet is the way we communicate. You have Joachim Chacha, who's 300 years old. He's my psychoanalyst, he's my teacher, he's my doctor, he's my lawyer, he's my donor. He actually raises money, solves my disputes. He solves my problems in the village. If there's tension in the village, if the attendance in the schools go down and there's a friction between the teacher and the parent, the puppet calls the teacher and the parent in front of the whole village and says, "Shake hands, the attendance must not drop." These puppets are made out of recycled World Bank reports. So this decentralized, demystified approach of solar electrifying villages, we've covered all over India, from Ladakh up to Bhutan. All solar electrified villages by people who have been trained. When we went to Ladakh and we asked this woman, at minus 40, you have to come out of the roof because there's no place, it's all snowed up on both sides. And we asked this woman, what was the benefit you had from solar electricity? And she thought for a minute and said, "It's the first time I can see my husband's face in winter." Went to Afghanistan. One lesson we learned in India was men are untrainable. Men are restless, men are ambitious, men are compulsively mobile, and they all want a certificate. All across the globe, you'll have this tendency of men wanting a certificate. Why? Because they want to leave the village and go to a city looking for a job. So we came up with a great solution: train grandmothers. What's the best way of communicating in the world today? Television? No. Telegraph? No. Telephone? No. Tell a woman. So we went to Afghanistan for the first time. And we picked 3 women and said, we want to take them to India. They said, impossible. They don't even go out of their rooms and you want to take them to India. I said, I'll make a concession. I'll take the husbands along as well. So I took the husbands along. Of course, the women were much more intelligent than the men. In 6 months, how do we train these women? Sign language. You don't use the written word. You don't use the spoken word. You use sign language. And in 6 months, they can become solar engineers. They go back and solar electrify their own village. This woman went back and solar electrified the first village, set up a workshop. The first village ever to be solar electrified in Afghanistan were by the 3 women. This woman There's an extraordinary grandmother, 55 years old, and she solar electrified 200 houses for me in Afghanistan, and they haven't collapsed. She actually went and spoke to an engineering department in Afghanistan and told the head of a department the difference between AC and DC. Didn't know. Those 3 women have trained 27 more women and solar electrified 100 villages in Afghanistan. We went to Africa and we did the same thing. All these women sitting in one table from 8, 9 countries, all chatting to each other, not understanding a word because they're all speaking the different language. But their body language is great. They're speaking to each other and actually becoming solar engineers. I went to Sierra Leone, and there was this minister driving down at the dead of night, comes across this village, comes back, goes into the village, says, well, what's the story? They said, these 2 grandmothers. Grandmothers? Minister couldn't believe what was happening. Where did they go? Went to India and back. Went straight to the president. He said, do you know there's a solar electrified village in Sierra Leone? He said, no. Half the cabinet went to see the grandmothers the next day. What's the story? So he summoned me and said, can you train me 150 grandmothers? I said, I can't, Mr. President, but they will. The grandmothers will. So he built me the first barefoot training center in Sierra Leone, and 150 grandmothers are being trained in Sierra Leone. Gambia. I went to select a grandmother in Gambia. Went to this village, I knew which woman I would like to take. The community got together and said, I'll take these 2 women. I said, no, I want to take this woman. They said, why? She doesn't know the language, you don't know her. I said, no, I like the body language, I like the way she speaks. Difficult husband, not possible. Call the husband. Husband came. Swaggering, politician, mobile in his hand, not possible. Why not? The woman, look how beautiful she is. I said, yeah, she's very beautiful. What happens if she runs off with an Indian man? That was the biggest fear. I said, she'll be happy, she'll ring up in a mobile. She went like a grandmother and came back like a tiger. She walked out of the plane and spoke to the whole press as if she was a veteran. She handled the national press, and she was a star. And when I went back 6 months later, I said, where's your husband? Oh, somewhere, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Success story. I will just wind up by saying that I think you don't have to look for solutions outside. Look and listen to people. They have the solutions in front of you. They're all over the world. Don't even worry. Don't listen to the World Bank. Listen to the people on the ground. They have all the solutions in the world. I'll end with a quotation by Mahatma Gandhi. First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, and then you win. Thank you.
Let us come back. Ladies and gentlemen, I am throwing the field open to discuss what are our takeaways for dignitarians from Bunker Roy's example. Are we just simply retired, or have we also become retarded? Very important. I will not be the moderator. I want the discussion to be open. And all of us Indians, we are polyglots. We all speak many languages. Although most of us are, for some reason, we want to speak the language of our colonizer. Speak in English, Hindi, Tamil, Malayalam, Bengali. I can translate for everybody.
Sir, don't stop. Always contribute. There are people waiting for us, so be there for them. And the certificate, no boundaries. I mean, it's like abundance is the thing. Nature, knowledge, nothing has a boundary and limitations. Know this fact.
I'm so glad, Rekha madam, you started off.
I
I
would
want
like,
to know, as a dignitarian, how are we going to use this extremely inspiring example to keep contributing?
yeah, I would like to say something.
Yes, Raman sir, you're welcome.
Yeah, you are, perhaps you are, I should first introduce myself as an old man of 83. You will say, oh, no, young man of 83, whatever. Yes, the age is some sort of a handicap for people like me. I live in corner of Bangalore, far from rural setup. It is a concrete jungle in which I live. And social responsibility, this social awareness, the need to do something meaningful, the urge to be of some use to the society at large has always been with me, but the desire is there, the will is there, even the money is there, but not able to do a thing about it. That is the truth of the thing. I would like to do something. Bodily, I cannot. Mentally, perhaps I can talk to people. I don't know whether I am an inspirational speaker like our Professor Iyer here or Mr. Bankar Rai. No, sir. I am no match for that kind of speaking. No, I cannot inspire. But in my own small way, I think the solution for people like me is to contribute some cash to persons who can put it to better use. I have been trying to find a channel where not that it is not like Infosys Foundation or something like that, where I would write a check for 5 lakh of rupees. No, sir, not that kind of cash. I don't have that kind of cash. I would like to help in small ways. I'm open for suggestions. Thank you.
Sir, Iyer sir, can I speak?
Well, sir, Raman sir, how to be productive and keep contributing is something that is a matter of ideas. I'm sure you have spent a big tenure working in some field or the other. And there are a lot of young people who are trying to become successful in that particular field. Supposing, and thanks to technology, geography has become history. It doesn't matter whether you're staying in a corner of Bangalore or Barcelona or Boston or Buffalo. It doesn't matter. As long as we can zero in on a target audience and give them creative ideas or encourage them to generate creative ideas. I'm going to share something with you. Today I'm talking because I practice what I preach. I know my ability to communicate both in the voice medium and in the written medium has been one of my strengths. The Almighty has blessed all of us with several strengths. Only if we open the wrapper, we will know what is the gift. If we have not bothered to open the wrapper, then you pass through life without even realizing what is the gift that you have. I realized it much before I became a professor. In fact, I became a professor only because of this. I'm a commercial executive. I worked in the high-risk world of corporates. There is no job security, no pension, only tension. Even a man like Cyrus Mistry, who belongs to a family who owned 18% of Tata shares, he could be sacked as the chairman within 20 minutes. No job security. but the learning was very, very great. So Raman sir, you must have been in some field of professional activity, or you must be having some activity like a hobby by which you can find a target audience. How to find a target audience, we can discuss today.
I hope.
Today is the day of mind-changing opportunities.
Okay, I've been working in electricity board in the accounts for a long time. I can perhaps give some insight into this bookkeeping, balance sheet, bank reconciliation, this kind of thing, which is done by many nowadays. You know, the YouTube and the other channels, they are so numerous. Better people are there to do my job.
Sir, I'm sorry, that is incorrect, sir. I'm saying that using the knowledge of everything from power generation to power distribution to power logistics to distribution to billing, there are several futuristic avenues. I'm not even an engineer. I'm an economist, and I know that NCES, non-conventional energy sources, there are very scholarly articles, scholarly videos, which normal people like me cannot understand. But for Mr. Raman, it is a child's play. Just like I chose Bunker Roy's video for all of you today. And I'm hoping that everybody liked it.
Yes, definitely. It was one of the finest videos I have seen. I've seen Korea.
Because I made a conscious choice. I know my target audience, who it is today.
Quite true.
And I know that this video will bring about, will open their mind and say, oh my God, there are so many opportunities. And today I'm available in the electronic forum. Main kya kar raha hu? What am I doing? That is the wake-up call, so that we keep contributing. Sir, I'm reminded of a very good saying which my father used to say all the time. See, we are all Palakkad people who were brought up in Delhi, so our familiarity with North Indian languages is very, very good. He used to say, yogi hona bahut saral hai, upayogi hona bahut kathin hai. With big salutations to Ramdev. हड्डी तोड़ आसन, गर्दन मरोड़ आसन, वो सब योगी है. But it is far more important in life to become upayogi. Unless we keep contributing, and unless our conscience tells us, all right, you've got a plan and a purpose in your life. You're not in the queue for the graveyard. I think that is the wake-up call that I want to tell everybody. If you look at my medical history, I'm 68 years old. On 1st of September, I'm completing 21 years of insulin-dependent diabetes. I've been obese for 40 years. I'm grateful to my wife. She married a fat man. I've undergone 11 surgeries only, without counting cataract. If a doctor looks at my medical profile, he'll say this man should have died a long time back. What's he doing here? And let me assure you, till date, I do not know what it is to be tired or bored, because it's all up here. I also kept looking for something to do. As Kiran told you, I have been involved in international collaborations all my life, joint venture, merger, acquisition. जात से पंडित हूं, कंपनियों की शादी कराते रहता हूं. अभी तक एक भी तलाक नहीं हुआ. I started doing my research as to why Israel and Japan have shot ahead. My own research. What did I discover? I discovered that these two countries are great because their citizenship quality is great. And then I started looking at the school syllabus of schools all over the world. I spent about 1 year and 4 months only doing this research. Every day, 2-3 hours, I used to sit. Thanks to Google Guru, research has become very easy. I noticed that citizenship as a subject does not exist even in a single textbook in the world. I started talking to great people, academicians, IAS officers, armed forces services officers, people in public administration, and devised my own method. On 23rd of October 2018, I launched my website, which is citizenshipfoundations.com, plural, foundations. I found my target audience in the parents of children in primary school, because citizenship cannot be taught in a school. It has to be taught at home, preferably by the grandparents. Nowadays, grandparents are all kept away. Sometimes due to compulsion, because children are working abroad. And they have no time for anybody, including themselves. Cruel, commercial, materialistic world. I started teaching citizenship. Sir, a fundamental thing, like wherever you go, please form a queue. Many of us are very, very affluent. We go to big, big malls. We are supposed to be educated, rich. That is why we are going to the mall. Nobody stands in a queue in front of the cashier. All of us mob the cashier with their credit card or debit card. You go to a country like Japan, you go to a country like Israel, everybody stands in a queue for everything. There is a queue. Don't you think we can teach this to our children? Don't you think we can teach our 8-year-old grandchildren that they should wash their underwear and socks themselves? We won't. You know, we ourselves don't do it. We will wait for the maid. Our children don't even make their bed. When they roll off the bed, they expect the maid to come. Or agar maid chutti pe hai, to ghar mein there is pandemonium. The mother of the house will have to do a combination of Bharatanatyam and Bhangra. Kyun? Maid nahi aayi. This is made in India product. Why we cannot teach this to our children? Why can't we teach an 8-year-old girl how to sit down wearing a short skirt? Our children are influenced by the Western media, which is literally naked. Is this our culture? My father used to never ever sit in front of his father. That is the culture I learned. Mother is always a friend. I'm telling a quotation in Tamil, which I will translate for you in English. Amma என்பது அன்பு, அப்பா என்பது அறிவு. Mother is love personified. She is a friend. Father is wisdom. So you have to respect, stand up and listen to him. He thinks about your future. Your mother will only keep asking you, have you had your meal? Did you have a bath this morning? Are you carrying something with you? You are going out. Have you carrying some food with you? Mother is looking at immediate future. And this is Asian culture. It is not like the Western culture. We can discuss in creative conversations. Please let us use the electronic medium. We all have electronic medium. We all have mobile phones. We all have. can we not select a good video and throw it open for discussion the way I'm doing it with all of you today? Today, my website on Citizenship Foundations has got so many hits. So many people come and talk to me. I do it entirely at my cost because I can afford it. I fly down at my cost. I go and stay in a hotel at my cost. I'm very proud to meet. I'm attending parent-teacher meetings, and all that I need is 35, 40 minutes. When you are driving your car and your child is sitting next to you, when you commit a traffic violation, and if you give a 50 rupee bribe to the policeman, you have delivered a terrible message to your child. Do we realize it? There is no national pride. This is India. Corruption is the only way. Police wala kya kar lega? Sale ko paise de do. When people tell their kid, the phone is ringing, pick up the phone and say, Papa is not at home. Now, children are so innocent, they'll pick up the phone and say, Papa ne kaha ki Papa ghar mein nahi hai. Are we delivering the right message? Rajapan sir, you wanted to say something. Please come in, sir. Unmute yourself and say something. Rajapan sir, you have to unmute yourself.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
See, I am 85.
Only.
Yeah, only. I have never felt retarded. I am always energetic. I am teaching people yoga, and I am treating people for diseases even if they are not near me or in front of me. Even distant people also we can treat by pranic healing, then acupressure, quantum touch.
Please applaud.
All
Rajapan
these things
sir.
I am doing. If at all, if I am going to be of use to you, you can always tell me. I can treat people wherever they are. Even in America, there I can treat from here.
Sashtang namaskar to you, sir.
Thank you.
This is how one can prove to be useful. Because we are retired, we are not retarded.
Yeah, not at all.
God has given us the greatest power, which is intellect.
For the past 62 years, I have not gone to the hospital for any treatment.
Great, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, please come in. Let us have a discussion.
Yes,
Hats off
sir.
to you, sir. Dono haath se salute.
Thank you. Thank you.
I
Thank you.
want to say. Can I
I-
speak, sir? Hello.
Yeah,
I
yes,
want to say something. Adil
Yes,
here.
sir.
Adil.
yes. Jayashri madam, please come in.
Yes, sir.
Adil.
Really, I'm so happy that what I was searching and looking for it today, I got it. And sir, before this pandemic, I wanted to go to Nandigram near Valsad. And there is a school, village school. And they are teaching, even I'm interested to teach there. But because of this problem, I may go after Diwali. And there you can solve. So I can teach 3-4 languages, administration of the school, whatever I get the job. I like village life. And sir, moreover, instead of speaking all these things, we should do something. And I have got land near Jalgaon. That is 1 acre land of my father, which I wanted to sell, but now I don't want. And if you want, we can set up something there. The near Jalgaon, there is a Pachora. Now it is town. First it was village. So I have been there. My childhood was spent there. So definitely money, education, land, I can give. You just come up with the good ideas and support of all our friends. We
Jayashri
should
madam,
do
Jayashri
something.
madam, today is the time for discussing new ideas.
Yes.
I'm going to discuss with you a very fantastic idea which the Israelis have found.
Yes, so bring them, spend your knowledge here. I
Thank
would
you.
like to do something for the society.
Thank you,
Yes.
Jayashree madam.
Yes, sir.
Kiran sir, can you
Huh?
show the film on skunk? How people generate new ideas?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, I have small 1 minute I'd like to talk.
Please.
Yeah,
Who
this
is
is
Please come
Rekha
in.
this is Rekha Gopinath. My video doesn't work in laptop. That's why I'm hidden. Otherwise, I would have come on the video. Okay,
No.
this is I'm a coordinator at Bangalore Sanjay Nagar. I'm also art of living teacher. So what
Very-
I would like to say is, first thing is they have to stop thinking that they're in the retired age. And second thing is the thought, the desire to give it back to society is very important. The thought has to come. I want to do something, anything possible from me. And they should also stop having the likes and dislikes. That is only if I get there, I'll go and teach, I'll go here and do something. No. Okay, if you can't do there and here and all, think about your mate's child only. Can you teach them maths? Can you teach them something? And tomorrow he's going to be a great citizen. So think in small, tiny things also. Then you can, whenever there's an opportunity, do big also. So be open for small or big, and don't think that very fancy thing that you'll get an opportunity and all. No, in any way you get the opportunity or you create it. Another thing is open up, speak your desire with somebody or the other. Like you say that I would like to contribute. I would
Dignity
like to
forum.
contribute. Yes.
Speak your mind in
Yes,
dignity
yes.
forum.
Yeah, that's also because
You got
I go
educated,
for.
matured people here.
Hello.
We also
Hello,
go
Adil
for
here.
river rejuvenation, sir, and tree planting, and we also go to government schools to teach, and even the villages where we go for the cleanliness thing and all that. So there are tons of opportunity. Do in your limitations only, but you have to have the desire. Discuss with somebody or the other. You'll come up with some solutions or some openings for your opportunity. That's what I would like to say, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Rekha madam. I think the daily mantra is, have I been useful to the society today? Being useful to your son, daughter, father, mother, relative, brother, sister is okay. That is in any case, that's a matter of routine.
Hello,
But
Adil here, sir.
have I done anything where even the beneficiary does not know who the donor is? I have no right to expect a thank you. That is the definition of seva. Have I
I
done?
want to say something. I want to say something, sir. Adil.
Yes, please. Yes, sir. Or madam, whoever.
I am 85 completed, 86 running.
Right, sir.
I do my regular activities in the morning. I get up, whatever. I go for a walk every day. Walk about for 2 kilometers. I have got my hobby singing. At night I practice. I have learned music, and then I also take part in Dignity Foundation Chai Masti our centers for singing or whatever session it is there. Some talk, some lecture by like you. I mean, the professionals, So I am that way okay. Only thing I am alone at house, lonely, and my daughter is here. One daughter is in States, so she takes care of me. Of course, my daughter here, and but one more thing I have to say. Okay, you said children, your father, you did not sit in front of your father. Nowadays the trend is we children listen to us when we are fathers. Now when we become old, children also advise us. Okay, we have to take some in the account. But then sometimes there are arguments also there, but that is okay. I mean, they are very caring and everything, so that is okay. But what man is okay? The children nowadays, they don't accept whatever we say.
Okay, sir. Habil, sir, thank you. I presume that is your name.
May I talk?
Firoz, sir, please come in.
Yes. No, the only thing I want to ask you is why have you used the word retarded? Retarded is why retarded? I was just wondering.
I will tell you the reason for that, sir. There are two reasons, sir.
You have retired from turning mad.
Wadia, sir, there are two reasons why I chose the word retarded. I talked to a senior psychiatrist and I wanted a social definition, not a medical definition. Even underutilization of your intellect is retardation.
Oh,
And I got this from a top psychiatrist in Pune. I live in Pune.
oh, I see.
And Pune is a city of educated people, 22 engineering colleges, 12 medical colleges, 78 MBA colleges.
Oh,
I asked the top,
thank you for the.
underutilization of your intellect is also retardation. It has nothing to do with madness.
Oh,
Not
but
at all.
I'm sure many people
Sir,
must have thought the way I think.
no problem, sir. Our job is to keep on clarifying. These are the opportunities where we keep learning. I told you we are in our second childhood.
So what? So what you have to say about
Sir,
correct.
sir, this is the
Time.
best place to keep learning. Habil sir, give me a moment. Habil sir, please give me a moment. This is the best avenue to keep learning because everybody is patient. Nobody is angry. You can ask the same question 3 times to the same person in 3 minutes because they have got the wisdom to be patient. Here is a great opportunity for Dignity Foundation.
Thank you. But why did the host mute me?
And also the second reason I've not told you why I chose retarded, because it rhymes beautifully with the word retired. Retired, retarded.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
Rhyming sometimes
Sir,
it creates a misunderstanding.
Sir, unless the title is catchy, nobody will attend this session. I'm already noticing we started with 117 and the number has come to 108 because many of us don't have patience to listen to anybody. We only want to speak. God has given you 1 mouth and 2 ears. So you must listen to double of what you speak. Nobody bothers. Everybody wants a
Time for the video.
Whereas I go out of the way. Kiran sir, please put on the skunk video for everybody to learn what is creative thinking.
It looks like any other Palestinian protest against Israel's security barrier until the water cannon opens up. With its spray, a rotten stench fills the air, leaving protesters soaked and smelly. For the man who filmed these pictures, there's only one way to describe being skunked.
I was here and everybody said, oh, shit, everybody was crying, shit, it smells. This is what the people said in the same day, yes. Yeah. They throw a shit on us, they spray us on shit. Yeah. And everybody was sad and angry.
This was the first use of skunk, Israel's controversial new form of crowd control. One of the qualities of this new skunk spray is its ability to linger. It's now 6 weeks since it was used here at the security barrier in Berlin, and you can still smell it on the air. There's a smell somewhere between dead animal and human excrement. Skunk is revolutionary. It's an organic, non-toxic liquid, but it smells indescribably foul.
God, that is absolutely disgusting. Disgusting, yes. I mean, it's nauseating. I feel like I want to retch. And you're saying that is actually drinkable? It's so safe you can drink it? Yeah.
It's guaranteed to clear an area without risk of casualties, unlike rubber bullets. Israelis say it'll only be used when protests have turned violent.
This is an option which is used by the Israeli police, border police, when necessary, if necessary, and will only be used when there are violent protests taking place, and we can effectively stop those protesters from throwing stones or rocks at our police officers.
But Palestinians claim it's being used on peaceful protesters and is a degrading form of abuse.
When they spray this thing, this bad smell to the people, it's make you feel non-human. It's humiliation for the people. What's going on? The people here is not animals.
It's controversial but effective and potentially lucrative. Israel says it's been approached by other countries keen to try out skunk for themselves. Dominic Waghorn, Sky News, the West Bank.
Kiran ji, back to square one. Now, what did we learn from this video? In managing crowds and mobs, the police and the military are using stink. No bullets being fired, no rubber bullets, no tear gas, nothing, no lathi charge, no violence, no wounding. And you know who came up with this idea? A 92-year-old gentleman who was a farmer, not a scientist.
Yeah.
He was only 92 years old. And that innovation came to his mind. He said, why should we injure people? Create the stink of 100 public toilets. The mobs will run away. And they got the biologists to work together. They produced a chemical formula which costs very little money, only 5% of the cost of tear gas shell. It is not some teenager who came up, some scientific genius, some prodigy from another world. No. He said people are very averse to strong stink. And there is an animal called skunk whose only defense is stink. There are jokes about skunk. That there was a skunk which was occupying a room. They finally sent an Indian into that room and the skunk walked out. There are such jokes because humor is a very integral part of life. And I love the way Kashi Vishwanathan sir laughs. He has got a childlike laughter. He laughs loudly with his entire belly. Many of us laugh only beyond our throat, particularly very fashionable ladies. They don't want to disturb their lipstick. So when there is an opportunity to laugh, all that they will do is if we want to laugh, we should laugh like Kashi Vishwanathan sir. 60 feet of intestine laughing. Otherwise, the flow of two hormones in the body, serotonin, very important. It is called the happiness hormone. If you don't laugh loudly like a small child, serotonin will not flow. Second is the excitement hormone, adrenaline. These two, if they don't flow, no point in laughing. You're only acting. Now look at the way this skunk design has been made. You think it is impossible to do such a thing in India? We are having mob fights every day. And the idea came from a 92-year-old retired farmer who has been given a national award. His name is Gritman.
Great, really great.
His name is Andres Gritman. He's only 92 years old. But look at the way he has produced an idea useful for humanity every day. This is what people in dignity can do. We can have very creative conversations. As I was telling Raman sir, there are so many people who are dying to enter the same industry where Raman sir has got a dozen PhDs by virtue of his experience. All that he has to do is go to his target audience, pick up one college in Bangalore and say, we will have creative conversations 1 hour in a week. Attendance is optional. I want to turn on these young people because if a country doesn't have power, it cannot become powerful. And we have to keep looking looking for power using a very fundamental concept, which is called SHE, S-H-E. SHE is not about promotion of women's rights or anything. SHE is an acronym: safety, health, environment. You think we cannot think like modern people? Bloody hell. We can think much better than them because we have got the wealth of experience.
I would like to
Sir,
interrupt.
Raman sir.
I would like to interrupt. Sorry.
Sure.
Please allow me.
Please, sir.
One thought has been, I have been harboring one thought for quite some time now. Our democratic governments, at least in Tamil Nadu, the government people seem to be indifferent about the huge public debt they are building up by many worthless schemes, and like distribution of free this and free that. Only a small personal fraction of people may actually require governmental help, but such help goes to even income tax payers. How to create an awareness not in the minds of the people, but in the mind of the government, that they should not distribute dole indiscriminately. They think that it is very popular to say every ration card will get this Pongal gift. That is one example which we have seen in recent times. They give sugar cane, rice, candy, this, that on account of Pongal.
Raman sir and all others here, we have chosen to be a democracy. There are 6 systems of ruling the world, the different systems. There is monarchy, there is dictatorship, there is communist rule, there is absolute monarchy, there is constitutional monarchy, there is anarchy, which is going on in Afghanistan, etc. 72% of the world population is under democracy, because democracy is the only form of governance where fundamental rights are guaranteed. And in every democracy, there are problems. No system of governance in the world is perfect. In communist rule in China, though, there are only 2 occasions when you can open your mouth. One is for eating, the other is when you go to a dentist. No fundamental rights. Even if you yawn, you have to yawn very carefully because somebody will shoot you down. Out of the 53 Islamic countries in the world, 49 have got absolute monarchy. Raja ka beta Raja. Even if he is a bloody idiot. It is a monarchy. And monarchies are more corrupt than any democracy. Every prince wants his hand in every business going on in that country. I have lived in Saudi Arabia as a chief executive officer of GE. So, sir, if you talk about Tamil Nadu politics, or if you talk about Jharkhand, or if you talk about Kashmir, democracies, they want to somehow come to power, and you have to improve the quality of electorate. Today, a vote is a purchasable commodity with paisa, pawa. I think pawa everybody understands. Paisa, pawa, and paya. Paya is a mutton dish made with the legs of a goat. This is a standard operating formula in every slum, every trade union, and every village all over the world, including the most advanced United States of America.
One point. They will, sorry for interruption.
Just give me a moment, another 10 seconds. They will give away public resources to come back to power. They don't care. They want to remain in power. Looking for a perfectly honest form of governance is looking for a boneless skeleton. It does not exist. If we think it does, we are living in a utopian palace, fool's paradise. So I'm not going to take that very seriously. Raman sir, you're a person who has been in the electricity board.
1 minute.
You understand the power of power. We cannot change the political system. You and I have not been politicians. We have only been victims of politicians. We cannot correct the system. Till day before yesterday, everybody said Biden is a great man. Trump was a fool. But after Afghanistan, they said Trump was far better. What can we do about it? We are not talking about Karunanidhi or Jayalalitha. They were competing with each other as to who is more corrupt. And we kept on re-electing them. How do we blame them?
There is one more. There is one more. There is one more thing. You see, even in democracy, राजा का बेटा राजा ठीक है, लेकिन मुख्यमंत्री का बेटा भी मुख्यमंत्री है.
कोई जरूरी नहीं है. Not required, because the people can vote the fellow out. There are so many Mukhyamantris, none of whose children have entered into the political arena. We made a mistake when we got independence. We gave over the entire power to just one family. 14th November, Jawaharlal Nehru's birthday is celebrated as Children's Day because he looked after his children, great-grandchildren and great-great-grandchildren. That is all. And the mistake is with the electorate. It is the quality of citizenship. Please visit my site and give me some suggestions. In my citizenship forum, I am explaining how to select a leader of character and caliber. Don't be swayed by per. That is all that I am saying. I now take you to my next video. Another very creative way of contributing is dispelling global bluff. You'll be shocked by the next video, which is only for about maximum 10 minutes. It is the biggest ever global bluff. Can we not dispel such nonsense? If we like to believe we are sensible, we should make sure that nonsense is not being believed. Mahakali sir, please put on moon landing.
The following program deals with a controversial subject. The theories expressed are not the only possible interpretation. Viewers are invited to make a judgment based on all available information. Tonight,
liftoff. We have a liftoff.
We investigate the most extraordinary event of the 20th century.
That's one small step for man.
Man landing on the moon.
One giant leap for mankind.
But believe it or not, some people say it never happened.
This whole thing was a fake.
Decide for yourself as we explore the evidence.
The Eagle has landed.
Analyze official government photos.
What a ride, what a ride.
Examine the films.
The flag flaps on the moon where there's no atmosphere.
And hear the testimony of one former astronaut who's not afraid to speak his mind.
NASA could have covered it up.
Could the government have orchestrated the deception of the century?
NASA could have pulled off the greatest hoax of all time.
You be the judge. On Conspiracy Theory, did we land on the moon?
On July 16th, 1969, America held its breath.
10, 9, ignition sequence start. 6, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Apollo Apollo 11 blasted into space, beginning its 250,000-mile journey to the moon. During their 8-day voyage, the Apollo 11 astronauts saw spectacular views of the Earth, floated in a weightless environment, and supposedly went where no man had gone before.
Guys looking good, down a half. Lights on, picking up some dust. Pulling forward, drifting to the right a little. Contact light. Okay, engine stop. We copy you down, Eagle. Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
But did it? Did they really land on the moon? Most of us think so. Millions of people watched on television as the lunar lander touched down, and these unforgettable words were spoken.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
But even today, there are those who claim that believing in man's one small step requires one giant leap of faith. Bill Casing was an analyst and engineer at Rocketdyne, the company that designed the Apollo rockets.
There were many problems that evolved during the 60s that led people to believe that we're never going to make it to the moon.
Three decades ago, when the world watched Apollo's lunar landings, Bill Casing was watching too. But what he saw on television, combined with his experiences at Rocketdyne, made him a skeptic.
The whole thing then seemed phony to me. I think it was an intuitive feeling that what was being shown was not real.
As he studied the footage more closely, he was shocked to find several inconsistencies. Casing observed that despite the clarity of deep space, the stars were missing from the black lunar sky. He saw the American flag waving, even though there is no air on the moon. And he discovered that there was no blast crater beneath the lunar lander, where its powerful rocket engine had fired. This evidence convinced Casing that we never sent a man to the moon. But NASA dismisses these charges.
There are always going to be people who believe some outlandish theories, and the notion that we somehow were able to fake the lunar missions is pretty outlandish.
As outlandish as it might seem, it has been estimated that as many as 20% of Americans believe we never went to the moon. But how could anyone think that one of the greatest moments in human history is a hoax? Is it really possible that NASA deceived the world? According to a former astronaut, it's entirely possible.
Regarding the Apollo mission, I can't say 100% for sure whether these men walked on the moon.
Brian O'Leary was a NASA astronaut in the 1960s and served as a science advisor during the Apollo moon missions.
It's possible that NASA could have covered it up just in order to cut corners and to be the first to allegedly go to the moon.
Was getting to the moon first so important that our government would consider faking it? To find the answer, we have to go back 40 years, to a time when America and the Soviets were locked in a struggle for world domination.
People assumed that the nation that won the space race would win the Cold War. We defined that as being first to the moon.
Sir, please stop the video and let us go back for a discussion panel. One of the ways we can contribute is to inform a lot of people about the difference between information and propaganda. The morale of the armed forces in America was very, very low because the then Soviets, much before Russia, first they sent Sputnik Then they put the first ever dog in space. Then the monkey went into space. Then Yuri Gagarin went into space for a long time, followed by a woman called Valentina Tereshkova. She went for an even longer time. And the Cold War between the then Soviet Union and United States of America was at the peak. America wanted to do something whereby the armed forces can be assured that the American technology is superior to the Soviet Union technology. So they made a blockbuster of a film. And even today, many of us believe, क्या यार आदमी चांद पे पहुंच गया और तुम ऐसी बातें कर रहे हो? पंजाब में कहते हैं बंदे ने तक्को यार वो ते चांद पे बैठा हैगा ਅਸੀਂ ਤੇ बैलगाड़ी च बैठे हैगे आ कमाल कर छड्या यार I'm only asking this very educated forum one question, although the forum has fallen very badly. For a long time, we were at 117 people. Right now, we are down to 87 people. So 13 plus 17, 30 people down. I'm sure I must be a terrible bore. So next time when dignity calls me to speak, I will have to excuse myself. And I will. Today, if we dispel the truth by asking only one question, I'm asking all of you only one question. 16th July 1969. Today, 52 years have passed. Why nobody else has gone to the moon? If it was true, Virgin Atlantic would be running a regular flight for honeymoon. One of the things that we people as elders, we can do to the young people is make them look for logic in everything. Don't be blinded by propaganda. Raman sir said that electoral gains are being taken by bribing the public. How do we make the public aware? How to help them to build up a logic for believing anything? This is something at our age, people listen to us. Maybe not in the family, but outside. Because they understand that we are speaking with the strength of great experience. Rajapan sir, please come in. Sir, you have to unmute yourself.
You said 117, it has reduced to 87. You are not bored because all the elders, senior citizens of dignity, they got commitment. Probably they have got some other meeting to attend, like this only, not because of your things. Please take it.
Sir,
we are not like that.
Sir, I would love to believe you.
Yeah.
Sir, I would love to believe you.
It is
but
so.
If I always look at the participants, if I'm not being upayogi, people will switch off and go. I want to throw this discussion open. I want to stop speaking.
Today's meeting is very useful. Very useful.
So grateful to you, sir.
And
So
87,
grateful.
87 is not a bad number, by the way. We are accustomed
Hello.
to 25
Hello.
and 50.
Hello, sir.
Habil sir,
Hello,
boliye
sir.
sir.
Habil here.
Habil sir, boliye.
No, you did not give me the feedback of what I told you. You did not give me the feedback. I am 86-year-old. I do my regular activities. In the morning I go for a walk. I do singing. I am lonely. That's the main problem. But my daughters are there. One is in States, one is here. She takes care of me. Now you say like children should listen to respect the parents enough. They respect everything. But then when they were small, they used to listen to us. Now, and when we become old, we have arguments. I mean, we have to listen to them also and take into account their advice also. It's not that simply you can say that I am okay, then you are not okay. That's transaction, you cannot say that.
Thank you, Habil
So,
sir.
and so other thing I want to tell you, I want to tell you one more thing. Okay, when I retired in 1983 from a pharmaceutical company in Bombay, Foods Pharmaceutical, and that time many people told me, including my managing director, and my marketing director, my own director, my own boss, that you must work after retiring, social work or whatever you do, you must do your easy, because if you don't do that, your 1 year of retired life will become, you will become 10-year-old. So I devoted to one my own relatives firm as a sales executive. It was a total different aspect, hardware.
Thank you, Habil sir. Thank you very much.
Sir, just a minute. I want to...
5 years I worked. For 5 years I worked, and then I left.
Sir, okay then.
Great, sir. Thank you. Great, sir. Thank you.
Sir.
Yes, Narendra.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Ek minute, sir, please, sir.
Narendra Joshi, sir.
Yeah.
Something.
Your lecture was excellent, no doubt, and don't take it otherwise. You are welcome again, because last time also when you have taken one lecture on we Indians, you know.
Yes, sir.
That was a very nice lecture, sir. Sir, just a minute. I want to talk. Let me talk.
Yes, sir. Please come in.
So main reason of this election is that we educated persons only discuss politics in our bedroom, but we do not go for going voting. While illiterate peoples, they go like a festival and votings, and we people are making festival and holiday on the voting day. So this system should be removed, and all educated persons should do their voting. So this system can be changed, sir.
Right, sir.
Hello.
Nagaraj, sir, please come in. Nagaraj,
Yes. See, actually, I wanted to support what Mr. Narendra Joshi said. I wanted to bring out the same point. The educated people, they because of their ego, they don't go for voting at all. They only, they think that, or some people who go for vote, they say, I will vote for Congress, whatever may be, or I will vote for BJP, whatever may be. They don't discuss actually what has happened, how they have fared, and things like that. And I got some friends who blindly support certain governments. And if you point out some drawbacks, they get very angry, okay? And then, this is about a friend of mine who is supporting BJP blindly. And he just said one comment about BJP, because he's a South Indian. When he said that BJP is trying to impose Hindi on this thing, then he brought a criticism, which he didn't like, okay? So when it is not to his liking, he brings out its point. But then when I say some point, he flares up. See, they don't see the logic at all. He's a very educated fellow. He's my...
Nagaraj, sir.
Okay, sir, I would like to speak.
Democracy allows everybody freedom of expression and freedom of thought. So
Sir, I would like to say.
Nehru Chalam, sir. Come in, sir.
I am N.C. Krishnaswamy.
Yes, sir.
From Chennai chapter.
Yes, sir.
I only say just one sentence or two sentences. The biggest enemy to our country is who? The silence of the educated persons.
Correct.
This is the biggest enemy.
Well said, sir. And as long as we think ways and means of contributing to society and country, everything will keep getting better, and we will have a clean conscience. That is all, sir.
There is a recent incident in a road accident. A man is lying on a pool of blood, and there are, in my own locality, Anna Nagar in Chennai, and so many motorists, so many cars are going. Nobody is there to help him in a road accident.
It shows lack of citizenship.
Yes. We think we talk so much. We talk so much
I want to wind up. It's more than 90 minutes. And I'm grateful to all of you for your attention. We are down to only 83 people now, doesn't matter, but I'm grateful to all of you. I only request you to visit citizenshipfoundations.com, www.citizenshipfoundations.com. and help me to contribute. Raman sir, you want to say something?
Yes. Educating the electorate is something that is more easily said, very difficult to do because political bias, political over conviction, this partisan attitude, the enmity some people bear for a certain section of the society, all these things, they make them quite stick to one point. I want this man as my leader. You see, it is not under, and let us not think that we all people who talk politics don't go to vote. It is a media spread misinformation. We see 80-year-old, 90-year-old standing in queues for casting their ballot. How can we say that you all speak politics but you don't go for voting?
Oh, no, this is the fact. This is the fact.
Sir, we are all open to different opinions. No problem at all. I would like to take this opportunity to profusely thank all of you for tolerating me for more than 90 minutes. It's grateful to all of you. Thank you very much. The objective is to be upayogi. Let us contribute. Let us be useful. For that, there are millions of opportunities available. It is not money. It is not physical effort. It is ideas. That is all. So I'm grateful to all of you. Thank you all very, very much.
Thank you very much, sir. It was very nice.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We are
Thank
very
you very much, sir.
happy.
Thank you.
We are thankful to you.
Very nice program we
Thank
had.
you, sir. Very
Thank you
nice.
much.
Very nice. Very thought-provoking speech.
Useful.
Thank you, sir.
Very interactive program.
நல்ல program, sir.
You gave this citizenship. What is that?
நல்ல program.
Email address. Email address. Give me the email address again. Give me the email address again. Email address.
Email address.
Email address.
Oh, it is very simple. Full word professor. PROFESSOR IYER @gmail.com. D for Asia. Professor Iyer @gmail.com. I have only one phone number, one email ID, one wife and one son. That's all.
Very powerful voice.
Since I've been in Saudi Arabia, I got into the habit of saying I have only one wife.
Yes.
Good delivery of speech and good delivery.
Very nice.
Lot of very
Yes, Raghu sir, tell me.
Very good, sir. Very good. Very good speech and
Grateful
I like
to all of you. Grateful for your patience. Thank you so
Very
much.
nice program, sir. Very nice program.
Thank you, sir.
Nandri, Nandri, Nandri.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Can you
Phone number.
Thank you.
Phone number is very simple, sir. If you have access to a piece of paper and pen, you can note down. Otherwise, Kiranji will put it in the mail for you. It is 93
Powerful voice.
2685
Very powerful voice.
932685 3214.
please repeat again? Repeat.
9326 85
85
32 14.
14.
Thank you so
Professor
much.
Iyer, right?
Yes, my name is Professor P N N Iyer.
Enter your email address. Email address.
Email address is Professor Iyer, full word Professor. PROFESSOR IYER. Professor Iyer.
Could not get you. Could not get you, sir.
Sir, it is PROFESSOR.
Sorry?
Look at
Professor Iyer.
sir, look at the
Professor
chat
Iyer.
box. You will find it there.
Sir, yeah, I think it can be put in the chat box, or I'm sure Kiranji will supply my coordinates to you. I'm not too busy for anyone. I'll be happy to interact with all of you. I'm not on Facebook or any other book for that matter.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Iyer. Am I audible?
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Am I audible? Yeah, thank you so much.
You are
My time
in
to
WhatsApp, I hope. You are on WhatsApp.
I'm on WhatsApp, and that is the only social media.
Okay.
I'm not on anything. Yes. So
ProfessorIyer.com.
yes, it is.
Dear friends, whatever the information, emails and number, I'm going to share with all the coordinator. Thank you so much. I request Ms. Jayanti, it's a high time to end the session. Coordinator of Chai Masti Centres, Kalyani Nagar, Jayanti ji, please give a vote of thanks. Jayanti, please unmute. Please unmute yourself, Jayanti ji.
Yeah, now you can hear. Yeah.
Yes, continue.
Yeah. So, to begin, I thank all the members of the Dignity Foundation for attending this session this evening. I thank Professor Iyer for accepting our invitation within a short time. And I thank Sujay Joshi and Kiran Mahankale for organizing this session for the Pune chapter. And I really admire Professor Iyer's patience to explain everybody patiently for such a long time. And this has really sort of, we now know that we have to do something. He has inspired us through those 3 videos that he showed us. And as he said, everything begins from home. I agree with that. And we were inspired, the 3 videos which will inspire us to do something. And we in the Dignity Foundation also can do that, since we have 3 slums that we have adopted. We can go around and teach them things like hygiene, small little how to look after the children and keep their surrounding clean. All that can be also done. So we must think of that, and we'll definitely do that. So I thank you again, Professor Iyer, for coming. And we are sorry if some people had to leave. Probably they had some, but I'm really sorry for that. Thank you.
Good.